Right, good morning. It's Tuesday, the 31st of March. So we're in lockdown at the moment, and we're doing daily Pilates just to try and maintain movement. So this is a beginner's session where we're learning the method so that you can then progress onto some of the other videos that I've done. So we're learning about the core, how to engage the core before we move. So we tried in Pilates, we think about stabilising before we mobilise the joints. So let's make a start. Just make sure you've got enough space around you. Make sure that you exercise responsibly. So you don't want to be knocking bits of furniture onto you or knocking a lamp over. So enough space. And then you need to, as you exercise, make sure that if you feel sick or dizzy or any discomfort at all, that you stop what you're doing. Really important, particularly at the moment with the current state of things that are going on. So let's crack on. I think that's fine. I've got some various props today, so I'm going to be showing you some ways of checking your alignment so that once you know that proper alignment, your body has a kind of memory of it. So we want to make sure that you're getting that. I'm not there to see you, so I'm going to try and give you some tips for self-alignment checking. Okay, so anyway, feet together. Then we're going to open up those toes, followed by the heels. And looking down, you want to make sure that your feet are hip distance apart and parallel. So rolling onto the balls of the feet. And back onto the heels. So I want you to take this moment to start breathing in through the nose, nice and deep breaths for a count of 4. And then as you exhale through the mouth, gently pushing the air out. And let's take the weight over onto one side and back over to the other. So nice and slow and controlled. We're thinking about pulling in that girdle of muscle by pulling in through the tummy, and we're drawing up that pelvic floor. So think about the core. And coming back to the middle, we've got the weight even over both feet. And I want you to press down the big toe, the little toe, and the heel so that you feel a little lifting through the arches of the feet. We'll keep the knees soft and we'll do some pelvic tilts. So we're going to take the tailbone underneath you. And then you're going to let the tailbone go out behind you. So everybody's got their own range of movement. This area, the lower back, is mobilising here. Not this part of the back, the mid-back. So just taking it to your range of movement, thinking about tucking the tailbone under and letting the tailbone go out behind. So arching and flattening that lower back. Then we want to find the point in the middle of those two extremes. And we should then have a neutral spine. So we've still got the natural curve. And then as we just pull in gently through the belly button, that's going to help engage through those deep stabilizing muscles. We'll go into that a little bit more detail in a minute. So now the rest, setting up the rest of the body, we're going to grow nice and tall now out of the crown of the head. So really float the top of that head up towards the ceiling. Keep the chin parallel to the floor. Often I see people lifting their chin up because they think that's extending their neck. It's actually doing the opposite. If you imagine, the back of the neck is where we want the extension. So keep that chin parallel to the floor. A little bit of a chin tuck. So what I mean by that is imagine that there's a train track, that your chin is on that train track. So as you reach it forwards and then draw it back, you can feel those muscles engaging behind you, reaching forwards and drawing it back. That's your chin tuck that we're looking for. Gives you rather nice double chin. So let's do a few of those. So bringing the chin forwards and bringing the chin back. Forwards and backwards. Last couple. Forwards and backwards. So you can really feel those muscles engaging down the side here and the back of the neck. And then we'll hold it there. Draw the shoulders up towards your ears, press them behind, and then gently draw them down your back. Keep the rib cage soft. So you might want to take a breath out. And as you exhale, just feel the rib cage softening up a little bit. But we've still got the shoulder blades down and back. So we want to feel as if the collarbones are opening. So we're going to draw up the pelvic floor. So this is the muscle that you use to stop yourself in the middle of having a wee. And we just gently draw that up. Imagine it's an elevator, a lift in a building, and you've got 10 floors. So we're going to draw it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Breath in, let's lower it. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down to the ground floor. We're not pressing through the pelvic floor. Let's do that again. So we're drawing up the pelvic floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A nice little visual for you guys if you are struggling. If you think that you don't have a pelvic floor, you do. Just imagine as we're counting up to 10 that you are taking steps into a really ice cold lake. And as you're stepping in, you are drawing up. Okay? Let's lower the pelvic floor. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Hold it there. Take a breath in. Lowering. 4, 3. Hold it there. So we've got a 30% contraction. We're going to keep it on floor 3. Okay. So now we're going to place fingertips on your belly button. And it's a breath in. Fill the belly with breath. And as you exhale, pull that belly button in towards the spine. And you can feel a tightening here. You can actually take your fingertips to the hip bones, come in from the hip bones, down a little bit. If you relax, pressing in through the fingers, you're going to feel that soft area there. And then we're going to take a breath in and we bring that pelvic floor up to level 3. Breath in as you exhale. Draw that belly button in towards your spine, and you should feel that those stabilizing muscles deep within tightening up underneath your fingertips. So you know you've got it right. Okay, so pulling in. We're going to breathe into the side of the rib cage. So it's a breath in. And as you exhale, pulling up the pelvic floor, pulling in through the tummy. Breathing out through the mouth. Inhale now into the side of the rib cage while you stay nice and controlled through the center. And exhale. Pulling up and pulling in, finding that connection with the deep core. We'll take a couple of breaths. Practice that Pilates breathing. So we're sending the breath to the side and the back of the rib cage while we are staying nice and strong here in the center. Keep the shoulders down and relax. That was my cat just jumping on the table. We might have a visit from the cat today. And relaxing those hands down by your side. So let's mobilize the body. Breath in. Exhale, let's look over one shoulder. Inhale back to the center. Exhale. So thinking about we're pulling up, we're pulling in. So we're nice and strong through the center. As we breathe As we exhale, we come away from the center. Inhale back to the center. Let's do one more. So this is the connection of the breath with the movement. We're going to take it to an ear to shoulder next. Inhale back to the center, exhale. This breathing pattern will become more and more natural as you practice it. Let's do one more on each side. Back to the center. Shoulder rolls next. So we've got the option to do shoulder rolls. We can bring fingertips onto your shoulders and do elbow circles. All the while we are pulling in through the tummy, drawing up that pelvic floor and keeping the spine in neutral. Let's change the direction of these arm circles. Last one. Bringing those hands down by your side. We'll keep the hips fixed. It's the breath in. As you exhale, just turning to look behind you. Anyone with osteoporosis or brittle bones, you're going to keep this movement extremely minimal. Maybe just coming to here, sort of 45 degrees. But finding that center, this is what we're looking for. Last one, we're going to free that movement up. Coming back to the center, line up the feet, knees and hips. It's a breath in, nice pull in through the tummy. Exhale, a side bend. But we're still thinking about lengthening through the crown of the head. So we're not just crunching down on one side. Feel lifted through the spine as you pull in through the tummy. So we're not looking to compress. Let's just do one more to finish. Excellent. So coming to stabilising now this area, the Pilates box, while we mobilise through the hip joint. So just taking that leg out in circles while the hips stay nice and level. You can keep that leg bent. Use the breath to help you engage through the center to keep these hips nice and stable. So we're not turning as we do the leg. The leg is disassociated from the hips, from the pelvis. Let's change the direction. I'm going to do it with a straight leg, but those are the options, a bent leg or a straight leg. Last one. And we will leave that leg out behind. Oopsie. Gently tipping forwards. Nice pull in through the tummy. Squeeze through the bottom as we lift and tap. Or we keep that leg extended. And you're leaning forward so you've got a straight diagonal line. We keep that nice, long, strong leg extended while we pulse. Bringing the knee to the front, we're going to rotate the ankle one way. Back around the other way. And then we lower, ready to do the same on the other side. So I'll do this sideways, do it this way. So nice pull up, pull in, keep the pelvis nice and stable while we do those leg circles. Bent leg option or straight leg option. Use the wall if you need to, or a chair to keep yourself balanced. Let's change the direction. Think about keeping those hips nice and level. Using the breath. Every time you exhale, you're pulling up and pulling in. Working on stability through the pelvic girdle. Last one. We can leave that leg out behind. And again, we've got that forward tip from the hip as we squeeze through the bottom, pull in through the tummy, keep the shoulders nice and wide so the collarbones feel nice and open. And we lift and tap, or we keep the leg hovered and pulse. Then we can bring that knee to the front, rotate the ankle one way, back around the other, and come down onto the floor. So we'll do our roll downs next. Coming down onto the mat, thinking about pulling up, pulling in, nice Pilates posture, shoulders back and down. And we start by tucking the chin, keep the knees gently softened. So round down through the vertebrae one at a time. You can walk your hands down or let the arms hang nice and heavy and really get that mobility through each vertebrae as we come down onto the mat. Lovely stretch up the back of the legs. Let's enjoy that for a few breaths. Then we're going to restack, coming back up, tuck that bottom under, building the spine back up. We bring the shoulders up and back and down, ready to go again. Tucking the chin, rounding down one vertebrae at a time, nice and slowly. Try not to poke your bottom out. Couple of breaths here at the bottom. Breath in, we come back, restacking through the vertebrae. Last one. Tuck that chin, lengthen through the back of the neck as you round down through the vertebrae. Knees are soft. Imagine that you are peeling, you're like a piece of wallpaper that is peeling away from the wall. And when we're at the bottom of this last one, we're just going to let those arms hang ever so heavy. Hold on to your elbows if your hands have reached the floor. And you just want gravity to have a little bit of space in that shoulder socket. And then we can nod the head, shake the head, probably hearing all kinds of pops going on and cracks as you do this. That's absolutely fine. And we're going to walk forwards onto our hands and knees. So we're going to get into our 4-point kneeling position. And I've got a little prop to help you with the alignment. So I use this in my studio. It's one of those extending brushes, you know, when you're painting the landing or something at a really high wall. So that, or it could be a broomstick. And I've also, you know, just to show you that I'm sure you've got something at home, there's an umbrella. So this equally would do. I'm not going to use my umbrella though, but just an example. So coming on to our 4-point kneeling position, we've got knees underneath the hips, hip distance apart, so don't have them stuck together. Think about having them nicely spaced so you've got that balance, that stability. Wrists come underneath your shoulders, shoulder width apart. We draw the shoulders back and down, and we want to think about the inside of the elbow. Imagine if you had a little eye painted on there, and you're going to turn those eyes to look at each other. So you're nice and strong and stable through the shoulders and the wrists. Now, some people have problems with their wrists in this position, so you can roll your mat up and prop the wrists up a little bit higher than your fingers. That often will give you relief. Otherwise, you can come onto your knuckles to keep those wrists straight. Maybe use a cushion, just to, again, keep those wrists a little bit higher than your fingers. And the other option would be to go down onto your elbows. Not ideal, but if that's the only way you can do it, then better to do it than not. So in order to get that neutral spine, let's tuck and tilt the pelvis. So similar to what we were doing standing up, our mid-back wants to stay neutral, and you are just tucking the bottom under and then lifting up towards the ceiling. And then we find the middle point and draw the shoulders back away from your ears. Think about the alignment of your head and your neck. So you want to be, don't let the head drop, don't look forwards. Think about length at the back of the neck and that little chin tuck that we did. So in order to, somebody might want to do this for you, or you can do it yourself, but you're going to get your pole, place it along the spine so that you are connected to the base of your spine, and then there's a gap, and then you've got the middle of your shoulder blades, and then the back of the head. So I can sort of feel that I could do with a bit more gap here, but I want to feel between my shoulder blades on that pole and the back of my head. And then I'm going to lengthen as I draw the shoulders back and down. So I know that I've got a fairly good neutral spine there. So without moving it, I'm going to release the pole. And somebody could do that for you, just hold the pole there. So when you are in that neutral spine, we're going to do some core compressions. So drawing up the pelvic floor, similar to what we were doing standing. I want you to let the belly hang down. So we're not moving the spine, we're just releasing through the abdominals. And then as we breathe in, we're going to draw up the pelvic floor. And then exhale, pull that belly button towards your spine. You probably can't see because I've got my top is in the way, but rest assured, I have pulled that belly button up towards the spine. I'm going to breathe in. And as I exhale, drawing up and drawing in a little bit deeper. Keep the shoulders back and down. Inhale into the side of the ribs. As you exhale, drawing that belly button up. And let's release. We'll do that again. So think about drawing those shoulders back and down, the back of your head. You might want to check your alignment again. It's a breath in, we draw up the pelvic floor. As you exhale, draw that belly button up towards your spine. Hold it there while you breathe in. Wide into the rib cage. As you exhale, turn on the core a little bit more, like a dimmer switch. So we draw it up towards the ceiling. Hold it while you breathe in again. And exhale. So you might be feeling a little bit of pressure in your shoulders now. Let's do one more if we can. So relax. So breath in as you draw up the pelvic floor. Exhale. We pull that belly button towards the spine. Hold that contraction while you inhale, widen into the ribs. Inhaling through the nose. As you exhale, we draw up and draw in. Relax through the shoulders. Inhale again. And exhale. Excellent. So releasing, let's just sit back onto your heels. Do some shoulder rolls just to release through the shoulders. We're going to do some work with the shoulders next. So coming onto the mat into seated position. First of all, we can take the band. So seated position, we want to get reasonably comfortable so that we can relax. I like my legs crossed. You might want to have your legs out in front of you. You might also find that if you're very tight in the hamstrings, just place a cushion underneath your bent legs so that you can keep that neutral spine and you can relax through the legs. So we're going to be focusing on doing some work with the shoulders and keeping nice and tall and neutral. So I will have my legs crossed. So we're going to do some protraction and retraction, and I'm going to sit sideways on. I'm going to come a bit closer, a little bit closer. There you go. So you can see my shoulders. Okay, so when we do movements with the shoulder blades, we work on what we call scapular stability. I hope you can hear me. So if you can see my shoulder blades, as I bring my arms up in front, I'm drawing those shoulders down towards the floor. So drawing them down towards the floor, keeping the shoulders away from my ears. So as we bring the arms out to the side, the shoulders don't lift up towards the shoulders. I'm still keeping them down. And then arms come up towards the ceiling, and I'm keeping the shoulder blades down, and the shoulder girdle is staying low. If you don't have scapular stability, what's going to happen is sometimes you bring the shoulders up towards the ears, and then you are bringing the arms up, and you can see it looks very hunched, very squashed. It's really quite painful. So shoulders down and back, and as we lift, we stabilize those shoulder blades. We don't let them lift as we bring the arms up. So you should feel a difference between that. My shoulder blades are just doing all sorts, and drawing them down and then lifting the arms while the shoulder blades stay down. So I don't know how much you can see there, but hopefully that's helpful. So let's bring arms out in front. Stay nice and tall through your neutral spine. Arms out in front, shoulders down and back. And we're going to do some protraction and retraction. So this is a very small movement. So let's start by retracting the shoulder blades. So we are squeezing the shoulder blades behind, and then we reach forwards. The spine isn't moving, it's just my shoulder blades and the shoulder girdle. Reaching forwards, drawing back. So keeping those shoulders down, away from your ears. Don't let them come up to your ears. Think of the shoulder girdle as being on a train track as we reach forwards and backwards. Spine stays neutral. Last couple. I'm going to get rid of the band, and I'm going to do a couple with my palms facing each other. Arms are parallel to the floor, nice and neutral spine. Reaching forwards. Now we're going to do a single. So my left comes back and then forwards. I'm not turning through the spine. I sort of want to, but I get to that point where I stop. Exhale to draw it back. Then we're going to add in a little archer movement. So my left shoulder comes back, and then I'm just going to pull it back. So we're just learning correct movement of the shoulder with scapular stability. Okay, boo-boo. So drawing, retracting, just a single, and then draw that arm past the rib cage. This is going to feel great if you are tight in the shoulders. If you have been leaning forwards on your computer or your laptop or your phone. So take your time, use the breath. Let's do one more on each side. So we're still thinking about pulling up and pulling in through the core, so we're nice and lifted. Lovely. Just release that off, have a little shrug of the shoulders. We'll move on to some semi-supine work. Again, just working on the method. So rolling down onto the mat. Let's find a neutral spine. So drawing those shoulders down away from your ears. We're going to make a diamond shape with the hands, and we place the thumbs underneath your belly button and the rest of your hands fall over your lower belly. Just gently tucking that chin. Don't forget you can use the towel underneath the back of your head just to help you get that nice chin tuck. Oh, we've got hands there. So imagine you've got a marble in the middle of that diamond, and you're going to roll that marble down towards your thumbs. So we press the lower back into the mat, and then we roll that marble down towards your fingertips, so arching away from the mat. So rolling that marble north and south. So working with your range of movement again. Then we want to find that midpoint where we should have a neutral spine. Checking under that lower back, you've got enough gap to get that flat hand in, and then we can just let those hands come down by your side. So we're going to do some upper body curl up. So this is going to strengthen the neck flexor muscles, and it's quite tricky to, you have to build up your strength to get to be able to do this properly. So let's start by hands reaching down by your side. We're going to pull up the pelvic floor, and we're going to exhale and scoop that belly button down towards the mat so you can feel that you're nice and strong in the center. Let's take another breath in, and as you exhale, we're going to tuck that chin a bit more so that we lift the back of the head, and then we lift the back of the shoulders, and then we make a definite lift from the sternum and reach your fingers down towards your heels. And then we gently roll back down. So it's a breath in, exhale, we engage through the core, we lift the back of the head, back of the shoulders, and then definite lift from the sternum as we reach down towards the heels. So we're up onto the tips of our shoulder blades, pulling in through the tummy. Don't let your belly pop up. And then we roll back down into our neutral. So try not to tuck the bottom under as well as we're doing this. So breath in, exhale, we engage. We lift the back of the head and we draw the fingers down towards your heels. Try not to tuck the bottom under. Your eye line will be looking below your knees. And again, working with the breath, we draw up, draw in, and exhale, reaching down towards your heels. So you might find that your chin is floating up towards the ceiling. I want you to, actually, this is what I want. I want you to lead with your forehead. So breath in, exhale. It's like you're leading with your forehead. And lower. If you find that the neck, you're getting a real strain in your neck, you can stop is the first option. But if you press your tongue into the roof of your mouth, that sometimes helps relax through the neck. So really press the whole of your tongue into the roof of your mouth. Let's do last couple. Think about the gap between your lower ribs and your hips shrinking without tucking your bottom under. Last one. Breath in, exhale, lead with your forehead and lower. So let's have a little roll from side to side with the neck just to release. That is the upper body curl up. So sometimes in the exercises we have that as another option to extend it, but it's really important to be able to do it properly so that you don't strain your neck. So let's come to some legs now. So we're going to work on pelvic stability. So that little flat hand gap under your lower back, pull up the pelvic floor, draw that belly button down towards your spine. We're going to take a breath in. And as you exhale, let's bring one leg up into tabletop. Hold it as you inhale. And we're going to lower. Place your fingertips on your hip bones just to get some feedback. Inhale, exhale, we do the other leg. So there should be no movement through the hips, through the pelvis. Exhale to lower. Breath in. Exhale. Exhale to lower. So think about all those points that we've talked about. Using the breath, so we draw up the pelvic floor. Scoop the belly down as we exhale and move. Feel the weight of your hips on the mat. That's going to give you feedback if you are rocking from side to side. Keep that little gap under your lower back. Last one on each side. Make sure your knees don't come too far forwards. You should be able to stop them straight over your hips and lower. So we're going to take a breath in. Exhale, draw one leg up to tabletop. Hold it as you inhale. Exhale, we're going to straighten that leg and lengthen it away. Nice strong leg, 45-degree angle. Inhale to return. Exhale to lower. Same on the other side. What's happening with those hips as you exhale to lift? Hold it as you inhale. Exhale, we engage through the core. Straighten that leg, lengthen it away. Inhale, we return to tabletop. Exhale to lower. Another one on each side. Breath in, exhale. Keep the hips and pelvis nice and stable. Exhale to lengthen. Imagine you are trying to flick a light switch on the wall. Return and lower. Relax through the shoulders. Exhale. Pulling in through the center. Hold it as you inhale. Exhale to lengthen. Inhale to return. And lower. Take a breath in. Feet are relaxed on the floor. As you exhale, turn on the core and let one knee fall out to the side. Keep the hips level. So we're just getting a bit of opening through the hips. Inhale to return. Other side. Exhale. Really turn on the core to stop the hips from being pulled over to one side. Inhale to return. Exhale. Scoop the belly down. Let the knee fall out to the side. Depends on how flexible you are through the hips, how mobile, as to how much movement you have without the hip bones lifting away from the mat. So let's do one more on each side. Inhale to return. And exhale, pull up, pull in. Relax through the shoulders. Tuck that chin. Back to the center. We're going to do both legs. Both knees are going to roll over to the left, but the hips stay on the mat. So we are learning. Inhale to return. Nice pull in through the tummy. Exhale. Knees go over to the other side. Your feet are going to sort of, soles of your feet will peel away from the mat, but your hips stay on the mat. Inhale to return. So the movement of the legs is disassociated from the pelvis. So the pelvis stays stable. Again, very much depends on how mobile you are through the hips. Back to the center. Let's do one more. Exhale. Keep the hips on the mat. Relax through the shoulders. Back of the head. Other side. Back to the middle. So we're going to do some leg circles. So nice breath in. As you exhale, bring one leg up to tabletop. So from here, I want you to place your left hand, if it's your left knee in tabletop, onto the knee. So imagine that it's like you're stirring a pot as you bring the leg out to the side. Do some circles with that hip. So exhale as the leg comes out to the side. Inhale as you come across the midline. And the hips, the pelvis, stays neutral on the mat. So we are just doing circles with that hip bone up towards the ceiling, keeping that leg bent. Don't let the hips move. Use the deep stabilizing muscles and the breath while you relax through the shoulders, the back of the head, melting into the mat. Last one, and then we're going to change direction. So you can feel that the hips want to draw over to one side. You've got to fight against that with those deep stabilizing muscles. So draw up, draw in through the belly. Last one. Back to tabletop, and we can lower. We'll do the same on the other side. So it's a breath in, pull up, pull in, leg up to tabletop. Just place your fingertips onto the knee just to help guide you. And it's a breath in. As you exhale, we circle that leg out to the side. Keep the pelvis neutral. Inhale, draw the knee up over the midline. Let's do one more. Exhale as it comes out to the side. And back to the middle. We're going to change direction. Again, keep the fingertips on the knee, or you can rest that hand by your side. But we're looking at keeping the hips nice and level as we circle, nice and slowly. Exhale, so that leg comes out to the side, will help you get that deeper engagement through the core, which is necessary to keep the pelvis stabilised. Last one or two. And then we lower down onto the floor. Hands resting down by your side. We're just going to bring some legs up to tabletop next, just to work through the deep stabilizing muscles, as we're going to really turn on the core, turn up that dimmer switch. So little gap under that lower back, remember. It's a breath in. As you exhale, let's bring one leg up into tabletop. Keep that neutral spine, breath in, ramp up that core, that dimmer switch on the core as you bring that second leg up into tabletop. Relax through the shoulders, tuck that chin, keep pulling in through the tummy, drawing up the pelvic floor. We're going to exhale and lower one leg down. Inhale, exhale, lower the other leg down. We'll do that again. So it's a breath in, pull up and pull in as we bring first leg up into tabletop. So we never bring both legs up into tabletop at the same time. Breath in, really turn on that core as you bring the second leg up to tabletop. And we're going to breathe wide into the ribs while we're pulling in through the tummy. That little gap under the lower back is still there. Relaxing through the top of the body, because all the work is happening in this powerhouse. Breath in, make sure those knees don't creep up towards your chest. And as we exhale, we lower one leg down, breath in. Exhale, we lower the other. And relax. Take a breath in. Let's take a couple of breaths here while we relax. Lovely. Moving on to our side lying now. No, we won't. We'll do a shoulder bridge. Sorry. So coming back onto your back. Do apologise. Find that neutral spine again. Feet come a little bit closer to the bottom. Let's tuck that chin. Hands resting down by your side. It's a breath in. And as you exhale, pull up, pull in, and peel that spine away from the mat, coming up into our shoulder bridge. We're trying to find that length down the back of the neck. Think about the rib cage, softening it up. Squeeze through the bottom. Press down through those heels. Let the shoulders melt into the mat. And we'll do some marching heels. So you're going to lift the toe of one foot and the heel of the other foot. Keep pulling in through the tummy to stabilize that pelvis. So alternating heel and toe. The heel on one foot, the toe on the other foot, and then we swap to the other side. Still pulling in through the tummy. Keep nice and stable. We don't want to be dropping through the hips. It's a little bit wobbly, so we're working on turning on the dimmer switch, turning it up so that we're nice and stable. And we're still breathing. And relax through the shoulders and the back of the head. Last one or two. Keep squeezing through the bottom. Resting through the feet. And we're just going to return your spine down onto the mat. Perfect. Now we're going to move on to our side lying. So if you want to have a quick release, you can just draw your knees up. Coming on to side lying next. So we're going to use the back edge of the mat to help you line the body up. Knees, hips, shoulders on top of each other. That lower arm wants to lengthen out underneath you. Place the towel between your ear and your shoulder, and this is going to help line up the body. Little gap under that lower waist. Make sure that you're facing directly forwards and that arm is underneath you. If you find that you want to bring that arm forwards, that's an option, but make sure that your head is, you're not then following it with the neck and getting that forward alignment. The other option is to just bend that arm underneath you and use that as a pillow, and that enables you to keep nice and straight. Best option is to have that arm out nice and long. Top arm in front to support you, little gap under that lower waist, pulling in through the tummy, drawing up the pelvic floor. It's a breath in. And as you exhale, you send those legs away from you, nice and straight. Really lengthen those legs. I want you to try and press. Imagine that I'm standing behind you with my hands against the back of your knees, and I want you to press the back of the knees into my hand. Hold it as you inhale, and then we lower as you exhale. Breath in, ready to go again. Exhale. So again, press the back of your knees into my hands, and we lower. Upper body wants to be nice and relaxed. All the work is coming from the center. And we've got that little gap under the lower waist. So keep working with the breath. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale. Lift and lengthen. Hold it as you inhale. Exhale to lower. Let's lay that top arm across the body. Breath in. Exhale. Send those feet away. It's a little bit more wobbly. Keep pulling in through the tummy. That is going to help stabilize you. And we lower. Watch that top shoulder and think about the hips. Make sure that you're not rolling back through those hips. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Pull in, pull up, and lengthen through the legs. Exhale to lower. And we're just going to bend those legs, bend the knees, feet, bottom and the back are lined up on the back edge of the mat. Nice squeeze through the bottom, pulling in through the tummy. So breath in. As you exhale, just open up the knees, keep the feet together. You should feel it deep in your glutes here, deep in the buttock. Exhale to lower. So inhale, squeeze through the bottom, open up through the knees. Try not to roll back. So we're working deep in the glute here. The piriformis muscle in particular. Exhale as we open through the knees. We can make this a little bit harder by lifting those feet off the floor. And keep those feet together. So we're opening up. This is called the clam. You can see why it's called the clam. And we're still working on stability through the spine as we just mobilise through that hip joint. Last couple. and we're going to change ends. So line yourself straight down the mat. Use the back edge to line yourself up. Your feet and knees and hips on top of each other, and your shoulders, using the towel underneath you. Nice straight line through the whole of the neck and the spine. Good pull in through the tummy. Draw that lower waist away from the mat again, and we just use that top arm to support. So nice breath in. As you exhale, send those legs away. Press the back of your knees into my hands. Remember, I'm standing there. Exhale to lower. With my hands against the back of your knees, and I want you to press the back of the knees into my hands as you lengthen and really strengthen those legs. Hold it as you inhale. Exhale to lower. Inhale, ready to go again. And every time you exhale, you pull up through the tummy, pull up through the pelvic floor, pull in through the belly button, and really ramp up the dimmer switch on the core. Lengthen those legs. Last couple. Hold it as you inhale. Oh, we can lay that top arm across the body just to make it more challenging for the balance. Inhale, exhale, pull up, pull in and lengthen. Hold it while you inhale. Exhale to lower. As you get stronger, you'll be able to lift a little bit higher, but any lift is fine. Last one. Inhale and exhale. We send those feet away. Press the back of the knees into my hands and lower. We're going to bring the knees bent now. Feet bottom and back lined up on the back edge of the mat. Nice pull in through the tummy still, so we're nice and engaged and active. And it's a breath in. Exhale. We keep the hips stacked on top of each other and just open up through the knee. A good squeeze through the bottom to activate and open through the knee. So you should feel it deep within the buttocks, the buttock. And again, we can lift those feet a little bit away from the mat to make it even harder. Make sure you're not rolling back with the hips. So you might want to almost try and press forward so that, or press your hip into, place your fingertips on your hip bone and just press into that as you open through the knees. Last one or two. Excellent. We're going to move on to our front lying exercise. We're going to do diamond press, which is going to, again, give you a little bit of awareness of your scapular stability. So we make a diamond shape on the floor in front of us. Elbows are wide. And then just let your forehead rest on your thumbs. Elbows are wide. Draw those shoulder blades now down, away from your ears. Relax through the lower half of the body. Take a breath in. As you exhale, really engage through the deep muscles and lengthen through the crown of the head as you draw your shoulder blades down. So we're only going to come up onto the breastbone. So your ribs stay on the mat, and it's all about lengthening. So keep that chin tucked so that you can feel the length down the back of the neck. and the shoulder blades engaging down the back, and then we lower. Very small movement. Relax. Ready to go again. Exhale, lengthen, draw those shoulder blades down, pressing down gently through the hands to engage through the shoulder blades, and lower. So we're not using the lower back muscles really. We are working mid-back, between the shoulder blades, so your lower traps, mid-traps. Exhale, extend through the crown of the head, draw the shoulder blades back, press down through the hands, and lower. Very small movement, focusing on strengthening the muscles that hold the scapula stable. Last couple. You might want to stay up for a few breaths, press those hands down gently on the mat as you draw the shoulder blades down. Lengthen through the back of the neck, tuck that chin. Last couple of breaths. Keep pulling in through the tummy to protect that lower back. Draw up the pelvic floor and lower. So I want you just to roll over onto your side, grab the belt. We'll do a little bit of a hamstring stretch just to lengthen through the hamstrings. First of all, we'll do a full body stretch. So just reach those arms and legs away. Taking nice deep breaths in through the nose. I want you to melt onto the mat. Then we'll bring those arms overhead. Find a nice comfortable position for a couple of breaths. So grab your dressing gown belt or TheraBand if you have one, or just a belt or a towel. Place it around the foot. Your supporting leg is going to be bent. And then we're just going to draw that straight leg. Make sure the leg is straight, otherwise we're not going to be stretching the hamstring. So that might mean that your leg is there. That's fine. Just draw it up to wherever you feel that point of stretch up the back of the leg. And then we can relax into that. Feel nice and heavy on the mat. Tuck that chin. Melt the back of the head into the mat. Take deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Feel that lovely stretch up the back of the leg. Try not to press down on this supporting leg, so we don't want to be pushing the bottom up. So relax. Nice breath in now. And as you exhale, we should be able to pull that stretch a little bit deeper. Carry on taking those nice deep breaths. Relaxing onto the mat. Let's straighten up that bent leg. And we're going to hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We can swap that leg over in the air to the other side. And again, straight leg while we draw it up till we get that point of tension. Other leg is bent, but we're not pressing down on it, so we're not lifting the bottom away from the mat. So relax, melt into the mat while we lengthen that leg away. Let's take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, just draw that leg in a little bit deeper. And straighten up that bent leg. And we're going to hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing that leg. You can use this bent leg to help you come up to sitting, or you can roll onto your side and come up that way. Whoopsie. Very elegantly done. So now we're going to do a little bit of a stretch. So right leg over left leg. Hug the right knee with the left elbow, and then bring the right hand behind. Prop yourself up as you just turn to look over your right shoulder and draw the knee in to get that stretch up the back of the thigh and the glute. And keep breathing. And release off. We'll do the same on the other side. So it's left leg over right. Right arm is going to hug the left knee, draw it in, and then turn to look over the other shoulder. Stay nice and tall through the spine. Use that supporting arm to prop you up. And release. We're just going to come onto all fours. A little bit of cat and cow. So arching that spine up towards the ceiling. Press the mat away. Drop the head between the arms. And we're going to go into cow. So we drop the belly, lift the tail. Keep looking down at the mat as you draw the shoulders back and down. Back up into our angry cat. Back into cow, drop the belly, lift the tail, draw the shoulders back, keep looking down at the mat. We're going to find a neutral spine, and we'll walk those hands around to one side. And walk those hands around to the other side. Let's come back to the middle. Thread the needle. So we place the arm across the body, reach through the gap as we lower the shoulder, bend the elbow. Back to the middle. Same on the other side. Lowering the shoulder towards the mat, reaching through. Back to the middle. Open up the knees, keep the toes together, reach the hands forward as you sink back to get length down the spine. So try to send your tail away from you while you walk the fingers away from you in the other direction. Back onto all fours. We're just going to do one last roll up to standing. So pop those toes under, walk the hands back, straighten up the legs. We're going to restack. Coming back up to standing. Nice big breath. Reach those arms up towards the ceiling as you press the hips forward. Lengthen through the front of the body. And release off. Give yourselves a clap. Well done. So I'll see you tomorrow for, I think it's mixed ability Pilates again. So hope you're all well. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.